Ugh. I noticed a lot of, what is it, like this sort of unpopular K-pop opinion videos lately on my feed, on my suggestion on my YouTube channel. I think it's kind of nice that people are starting to express their opinions a little bit more, because honestly, it's almost like you can't say anything on YouTube these days without getting like the whole cancel culture, like you're bitch, you're canceled, girl, you're canceled. Girl, it's too fucking tiring. Although a lot of these opinions I feel like are stuff people already are thinking, it's just that they're not allowed to say these things out loud. Like more often than not, we'll make these videos like anonymously, like they don't show their face, their name, for good reasons, because a lot of the comments in these videos are it's just like butthurt fans that just usually can't seem to. Here's the way I see it: if you disagree with someone, defend your opinion. Don't just be like, oh my god, like, girl, I swear to god, like 90% of the comments are, sis, who hurt you? Who hurt you, fam? That's not defending your opinion. If someone has an opinion that you don't like, then give them a reasoning as to why you disagree. And don't just, who hurt you, fam? And a lot of people tend to misconstrue their other people's opinions with hate. I don't know. I just feel like just because someone doesn't agree with you on certain things doesn't make it hate necessarily. Sorry. Anyway, I asked you guys on my Instagram a while ago, actually. Okay, here's the thing. I actually filmed this a while ago, but I don't like the way it came out because it got too intense, so I decided to film it again. But yeah, I asked you guys for your unpopular K-pop opinions, and I would react to them. This is not my idea. This is like a combination of those unpopular K-pop opinions that have been popping up, as well as Anthony Fantano. He has a series on his YouTube channel where he talks about unpopular opinions or people's opinions in general about music and stuff. So this is the K-pop version. K-pop isn't about talent. It's all a popularity contest. I like half agree. There's so many talented K-pop artists out there right now that aren't getting the recognition that they deserve. Yeah, I kind of agree in that. There's a lot of K-pop artists that are extremely talented that are kind of just like not as successful as other groups that are maybe in like JYP, YG, SM, etc, etc. A lot of it also has to do with politics. There's a lot of stuff that happens like behind the scenes that you don't really see that can be the reason for certain groups being more successful than others. So I don't know. It's a whole slew of things, to be honest. Unpopular opinion: some idols, they show skin like their abs and stuff to drive fans crazy, and some fans are really just obsessed with their bodies. They get to do whatever the fuck they want, but sometimes I think it's too much. People could fall in love more with their voices and hard work and dance and shit instead of just the body. You know what I mean? Like, I get a lot of shit with this when it comes to like One or whatever. A lot of people think that I only like him for his body, but the thing is, you don't necessarily know, unless you know that person, unless you ask them, you don't know why a person likes a certain artist. Yeah, maybe on their SNS, like me, I tend to just be like, oh my god, I want his body, I want his body. But, for me personally, I appreciate his voice. I appreciate he dances so well. He writes music. But I'm not gonna, I think it's kind of boring to just be like, oh my god, he's such an angelic voice. Like, I don't talk about that on my channel, especially when it comes to like reaction videos. Personally, for me, I just think it's not that exciting. And I guess I can understand where people are coming from when it comes to like, oh, he's just sexualizing him, but I guess it just comes with part of my humor. When it comes down to it, it's very human nature to be attracted to other humans' bodies. Am I saying sexualizing people is okay? Not necessarily, but really just comes down to you don't know whether these people are only supporting these idols because of their body. So you should ask them, is what I'm trying to say. The tropical house style songs, in my opinion, have been overdone. I feel like all summer songs have that vibe, even though there are other ways to make a successful summer song. I used to like it, but now I'm sick of it. Yeah, I kind of think it's a little bit overdone. People are still doing it. Like most trends, they come and go, and I feel like it's starting to go, but there are some people that are kind of switching it up. Would you say switching it up? They're kind of like taking the genre and kind of changing it a little bit. So I think it just depends on how you go about doing the genre, because I think most people are starting to get tired of it. It's a bit cringe when they try to incorporate stupid dancers into the choreography. Yeah, I think so, a little bit. But the thing is, with Korea, one of the things that makes a song successful is if a song has choreography that's easy to follow along. Because people, when they listen to pop music, they like to incorporate the dance into it. So they have like, oh, if they're listening to it, and a lot of these trendy dances are easy to follow, I guess. So I guess a lot of them will incorporate them into that. Monsta X deserves more and shouldn't be slapped. Okay, like I was saying earlier, it's like this sort of comment has been like half of what I receive for responses. I also agree Monsta X deserves more, but you guys know me, I'm not gonna complain about anything. I'm the type of person that I go with the flow. So they've been promoting for so long now. Like I said before, they're very lucky that they're supporting a group that is in a company that has a lot of money so that they can keep making these comebacks, because otherwise, like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna be real with you right now. If they keep going this direction, I don't even know, because any other group, having promoted this long, having spent this much money, I'm surprised Monsta X is still afloat, to be honest. They're doing really well with their world tour. They have lots of fans, international fans, but it can be really hard. The K-pop industry is very, like I said, it's very political with the companies and all that, and like success really depends on a lot of things. It's completely random, I feel like, at this point. Some groups, when they find that people really enjoy their latest music video, they're releasing another one that is pretty much the same, going from Boom Boom to Bam. I find it a bit sad. Yeah, this sort of situation has happened quite a lot, but then again, it can go both ways. For example, well, obviously Momoland, Boom Boom to Bam. There's I've listened to Bam enough times to know that it's a different song, but you cannot deny that definitely there's similarities there in terms of like structure, you know, having a certain type of like dance that goes along with the song. And a lot of companies tend to do this. For example, like Crayon Pop, their follow-up song to Bar Bar Bar, very similar. They even created a whole boy group whose debut song was like the boy version of Bar Bar Bar, and that was a complete flop. And I guess, I don't know, because there's a risk of like, not necessarily changing your concept, but I think it's more about elevating the current concept that made a group pop off. I think a group that's a good representation of that is maybe A-Pink, where they kind of, in a way, they were stuck in a certain genre, but each song was either catchier or more like innovative in a way, even though they all kind of followed a certain genre. Twice, I think, was doing that for a little bit. Not that their songs are all the same, but it was more like, it was like this trend of just having catchy songs that had catchy dances to them. So in that way, I think that's how groups find success, is to just elevate their concepts rather than redoing their concepts. In my personal opinion, Boom Boom to Bam was not really an elevation of their concept. It was more of like just another take on Boom Boom. Bam is still catchy, but I don't know, I feel like they could have done better. Jennie is not a bitch. I personally don't know Jennie, so I don't know if she's a bitch or not. I can see why people might think so, because she kind of has that resting bitch face, but I don't know, she slays me, so. K-pop is not only Blackpink and BTS. True, but, you know, with the internet, the kids love to hype up certain groups, so SM is the fucking worst. Well, I don't know what angle they're coming at this from. Like, what part of SM is the worst? They could be talking about how FX hasn't made a comeback, but I am not in SM, so I wouldn't know. I didn't actually really believe that friendship among members. For me, just the fact that they are working together because it's about the music anyway. True, like, I really agree with this. There's a lot of groups that they, on pangsong, like on broadcasting, they pretend that they're friends, which is what they should be doing. You don't want to, like, if it's obvious that people don't like each other in a group during pangsong, like broadcasting, rumors pop up, and then that's not really good for the group. You know, we're all human. Idols are humans, obviously. We can't all get along with each other. You know, being an idol, being super stressed, having to go through all these hardships, it can take a toll on people, and, you know, you're not always going to be, like, happy-go-lucky, so I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't see. There's a few groups where you can really tell the genuine, like, friendship, but there's a lot that, you know, maybe sometimes you can tell with just the fact that you almost never see certain members hang out with each other. But I don't blame them. Again, it's like there are certain people that you can't get along with, so. And for a lot of groups where the group is kind of randomly just made, where the company just throws members into the group where they don't have time to like form a friendship, and so they're in this environment where, like, this very stressful, tiring environment. It's not necessarily the best kind of environment for forming a nice friendship. Aegyo concept is dead. Give the fans what they want. Throw that ass in a circle. I think it's mostly international fans that enjoy these sort of like throw that ass in a circle songs, because I don't know. I just feel like the cute concept is still very strong in Korea, because it goes hand in hand with this whole like image of like youth and girliness and all that when it comes to like girl groups, at least. And And a lot of people will twist that and make it all like, oh, Asian fetishization and like sexualized. I'm sure there are creeps out there, but honestly, can't like count every single sort of fan that is a fan of that genre as like creepy old men. I know a lot of guys that are like, you know, my age, like guys that are like in the army maybe, that just think it's cute. But I do like a song where I can throw my lack of ass in a circle. When the song is done well, I love a good girl crush concept. When people say that they're an army, but they legit only like one member, this kind of goes into like what constitutes a fan and what doesn't. And I don't like telling people what to do, you guys know. So it really irks me when people tell other people what a real fan is and what a real fan should and shouldn't do. I can see what they mean and how that can be annoying. But again, you can't force someone to like every single member of a group. Yeah, there are a lot of people that, you know, really invest a lot of time into a group, so they end up somehow or another enjoying each member for one reason or another. If a person only likes one member of a group, I don't feel like you can tell people what they should and shouldn't like. Fandoms are so fucking annoying. Can we all just be fans and just chill? Okay, I think it depends, I guess, on what part of the internet you hang out on. I feel like on Twitter, that's where all the like fan wars happen. Because for me, because I follow a lot of Monsta X like fan pages on Instagram, and for me, it's almost like a lot of it is just like positive stuff. So I feel like if I was on Twitter, I feel like that's where, you know, it's the internet, and you've got kids on the internet. A lot of these kids are probably really young, and if they're older, that's really sad. Not gonna lie, I was like that when I was younger, and as I got older, and I'm not saying like just because you're older means you need to shut up, but I just feel like it's a waste of time being an annoying fan the older you are. And I'm not saying that just because you're younger you should be doing it, but I just feel like it has to do a lot with, you know, who the age group that's using the internet. Would it be nice for us to just chill and just be fans? Of course, but you're on the internet, you can't expect much. K-pop shouldn't be used to push people's liberal agendas. Also, Wendy isn't racist. She was doing what she was told, and in the circumstance, you couldn't have expected her to stand up for what's right. It wasn't a big deal to begin with, so people are just dumb. K-pop shouldn't be used to push people's liberal agendas. I like wholeheartedly agree with that. I feel like the whole like Tumblr social justice warrior thing like spilled over into K-pop, and like, you know, all I can do is defend the opinions that I have with the logic that I have, like to think that I have. And you know, I think a lot of these people are coming from good places, but I think it's just a little too much sometimes, and a lot of them can be a little bit delusional about like, oh, changing society, changing the standards. The way I see it is, if you're gonna be saying shit like that, have a fucking game plan and tell me how you think they're gonna change their standards, because a lot of these people just spoo shit to make them sound super virtuous, and I'm like, I'm so like woke and all that, but if you ask them, okay, how do you expect to change it, they can't give you a fucking answer. And usually the only answer I tend to hear is just, oh, it's the people need to change the way they think. All right, tell me how you're gonna change that. What, are you gonna like attack people on the internet and scare them into changing their minds? Because that seems to be how it is when people apologize for things that they say on the internet. It's not because they did it wrong. A lot of times it's because it was a lot of butthurt people on the internet caught them and want them to apologize. The whole Wendy thing, I think I'm gonna just make a whole video about that separately. This is the question that I got to where I ranted for like 30 minutes. I have my thoughts on the whole Wendy thing. Well, you're probably not gonna like it, but I'll just move on. I think there should be more LGBTQ K-pop artists. For me, personally, I just want good artists. I want good music. I really don't care what, honey, there are a lot, I'm sure there are a lot of LGBTQ artists, idols or whatever that are promoting now. But obviously, because of the way K-pop is, in Korea is, they can't just come out. I'm sure there are a lot of fans that would want them to, but if you're only supporting someone because they're lesbian or because they're gay, what does that say about, like, you and the artist? I want to support an artist because they make great music, because they have an amazing singing voice, not because they're gay. I can't even imagine how it would be like if I was, like, a singer and, like, I had fans, like, say I was, like, making a special appearance somewhere and there are fans outside and the people interview the fans and they're like, oh my god, why do you support him? And they're like, because he's gay. Like, I don't... And I guess from the angle of, like, oh, they're changing the standards or whatever, I think Troye Sivan did a really good job of, because obviously Troye is part of the LGBTQ community, but when I think of Troye Sivan, all I think of is good music. The first thing I think of is his music, not, oh, he's gay, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's probably the way. I mean, this is just my opinion. I feel like that's the way of changing people's minds about LGBT sometimes, is letting the talent, letting like the values, letting the actions speak louder than just the fact that they're gay. I don't know, that's just me. Momoland are getting a lot of hate for making the same song when Car does it too and nobody says shit. Actually, that's kind of true. I mean, there are definitely comments where oh god, this sounds just like everything else, but I don't think I saw that as much as Momoland did on that one video. I don't know. I do have to say, I'm getting a little... It almost seems like the members, too, are tired of their own music. I don't know. Again, this goes back into the whole, like, elevating the concept. I feel like they can still stick to the tropical house sound, but just kind of come at it at a different angle, maybe. K-pop stan Twitter is more toxic than it is funny. People start drama over literally anything and then complain about it. Like, this is exactly why I don't have a Twitter. I never want to take away someone's right to their freedom of speech. I think everyone is entitled to an opinion. Again, it's all about being able to defend your opinion with facts, with logical arguments, things like that. On Twitter, it doesn't seem to be the case with people. It's always like people tend to respond to things with just, you're a fucking hater. If you have nothing nice to say, just don't fucking say it. And yeah, I can understand the difference between like constructive criticism or whatever, or unpopular opinion from like just being a bitch. But I feel like people are kind of grouping everything together when they don't agree with them. And so you've got Twitter where it's all about, it's the sheep. It's a bunch of sheep where if one person wants to cancel someone, everyone's got to cancel them. But I feel like a lot of these people don't even like follow through. I'm wondering, I want to ask these people, like, aren't you fucking tired of like trying to be the most like, I only follow people that aren't canceled? And like, if you're gonna put these standards on people and not, you cancel everyone that isn't like super like clean past, do you put the same standards on like everyone else in your life? Like, why don't you like do a background check on all these people and we'll see who's canceled? At that point, you're gonna literally follow like nobody. I'm gonna leave it there. I've got a lot more that I didn't answer, but I'll get back to that at a later time because I've got a lot of stuff to do and I don't want any shit happening before I even get to kick on. So I just want to leave this video off by saying, like, you know what? I'm not encouraging like hate speech and all that, but if you have an opinion, I think you should be allowed to have it. Just make sure you actually are able to back your own opinion up, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.